All right, should we get started?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So today I'll be master of ceremonies and give the boss man Sergey a break for 1 week. Not really, because I'll ask that he demo something later, so you only get a bit of a break, Sergey, not a big one today. Hmm. Okay, well, lots of stuff was merged in the last week. So let's start with some demos from what was merged. Is by any chance Vladimir Fishchenko call late for him as well? He said he might show up. Does not look like it.
He's not on the call at the moment.
Okay. Well, he merged something. Let me see if I can pull it up.
I think he might join a bit later.
Okay.
Let's give him
Well,
some time.
sounds good. We can loop back with him later. Okay, in that case, then you didn't get a very long break, Serhi. What about your change that you got in this week around some sensitive fields?
Yeah, that's actually changed from yesterday. Just want to show it. Let me share my screen. Oh, I cannot share my screen. Can you go on? I will need to relaunch the application.
Sure. Okay. In that case, I have a couple things I wanted to demo, or at least highlight, folks. Or okay. Well, you can see my screen. This is the PR. It was, I mentioned this on the Slack channel as well. It's about leveraging the sensitive credential storage that is built into MFTF for functional test runs. So I think for everyone who's running MFTF tests locally, definitely you'll need to move over to this new way of storing sensitive credentials. So basically the four sensitive creds that the tests use right now are API key and private key for Adobe Stock Integration, as well as Adobe IMS account email and Adobe IMS account password. So those four things should be stored in the credentials file. So under the Adobe Stock Image Admin UI test MFTF directory, there's a bit more detail about what variables should be stored in the end file versus what variables should be stored in the credentials file, and also a link to the relevant DevDocs documentation for both of those. One being .m file configuration versus credentials file configuration. So just a heads up there. Please move over to this. It is a bit more secure. If you are still using or running MFTF tests with all of the sensitive information in your .m file, then your test output will actually log out things like your API keys, your passwords, your emails. So might not be a big deal, but it's safer to use this new method. So heads up there. That was one thing. One more thing that's in process, not merged yet, soon. Share my screen again, actually. Is, y'all can see this, is enabling automated running of MFTF tests on Travis for all pull requests. This is kind of a big deal, as at least we'll be able to get MFTF test feedback on pull requests relatively quickly. Let me load up the just an overview of the Travis build as it relates to the project, so everyone can have an idea of what it looks like. So we run PHP stand as well as the more classic static tests in Travis as well as on Jenkins. So we get feedback from both runs. Why not? We definitely run the unit tests in here as well as on Jenkins. And the new bits are these functional test suites. You'll see that there's many of them. Right now we're running 7 of them. And the reason for this is A, to try to parallelize the runs, to speed this up, run a lot at the same time. It'll take less time overall. But also, I think Travis has a 50-minute maximum build runtime. So if we run all of the MFTF tests in one build, it may take more than 50 minutes. So we split it up in this way. There might be a better way to do this. I'm not sure. Open to feedback. And for sure, these are failing right now. All 7 of these are failing. Some are worse than others. Most of them, I think, just have 1 failure each, which I think for a first pass is pretty good. The last functional test suite, last I checked, the See More one, I think has several failures. So we still have some work ahead of us to get these passing. And the pull request is not merged yet, but expect this to be merged in pretty soon. Final note about this, and this is really important, is that because of the sensitive credentials used as part of this, these are stored as encrypted environment variables in the Travis settings for the repo, which means that these encrypted environment variables are not available to pull requests sent from forks. So for some of our partners and community maintainers that have access, push access to the Magento repo, great. You can push branches there and issue pull requests from that, and you'll get proper feedback there. But for people who don't have push access to the repo, this might be something that will require a little bit of manual, I guess, management of the pull request, just to get that MFTF test feedback over time. Yeah, so hopefully that made sense. Are there any questions about this before we move on?
Neil, I was going to ask, when you mentioned Jenkins, is that the test suite that is running in Magento side, the one that recently starts implemented, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, that was all.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so I think regarding the management of incoming pull requests, once the Travis stuff is merged in, post-review, if a member of the project reviews a pull request coming in from the fork and there's nothing malicious in that pull request, like no attempt at stealing credentials or anything like this, then all of us collectively as maintainers of the project could do the work of pulling down the branch from the fork and pushing it up as a branch on the repo to then get the MFTF test feedback, at least in the short term. Longer term, the plan is to run the MFTF tests on Magento infrastructure, so this Travis-based song and dance won't be necessary. That's the idea, just so y'all are aware.
I would like to add that there is, while MFTF tests will not be passing on the pull requests, will not be passing on your environment because there are no credentials set up, you still can add the credentials, your credentials, to your Travis built on your repository and run the tests on internal, like on internal pull request in your repository. That's how you can ensure that the MFTF test that you are preparing or the functionalities that you are going to deliver is passing the functional tests. Just make sure to keep all the sensitive data encrypted in Travis.
That's a really good point. And actually, I should probably include that in documentation somewhere for the project. I'll make a note of that. Thanks for bringing that up, Sergey. Okay, are you good to demo some stuff for us, Sergey?
Looks like I have some issue after upgrading the BlueJeans application. Basically, it's very simple change that I wanted to share with you, so I can just explain. We've changed system configuration field types for API key and for client secret from password type to obscure type. It is a more proper type for the credentials fields, and that also supports dumping of the configuration. So the situation when configuration is stored, sensitive configuration is stored in env.php file, is as instead of database. So that should enable setting this configuration using the Magento CLI secure config set command, and also basically covers all the cases of storing the configuration. So in case you will notice anything unusual with configuration, please drop the message to chat. However, I don't expect that it will affect your configuration after the update or any functional tests at all. That shouldn't have any effect.
Cool. Thank you. Okay. I didn't have any other PRs lined up specifically, but maybe I could open the floor to anyone present. Is there anything anyone would like to demo while we're in demo mode here?
Yeah, I like to demo some PRs which I have created for the documentation, dev docs.
Oh, nice. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, I will share my screen right now. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, great. I have created a PR for the Machinery component which we have added in the Magento 2 repo by Sergey. I've created a dev docs and it's merged to the develop branch, so it will be released in 2.3.4 version. And I can choose the demo of the Machinery grid component or topic, like the description and the configuration option we have added here. And also I added some example how we can add the Machinery grid in UI component, and also added examples and a screenshot which is taken from the Adobe Stock Integration project. And I also created another pull request. Okay, thanks. I also created another pull request for the image preview component, same like the grid component, which is also I have just created and it still need to review. So if you guys want to just quickly check it out and see all the options and description, then it would be great. Like the same as the image preview component, dependencies and the configuration options which we have added, and also the source files. And another pull request I'm going to do soon. It's on the development mode. That's the okay, yeah. merge docs. As we have started working on merge docs, I've just assigned a task so Filmaj have assigned me. So it's the Adobe Stock Integration section for the configuration options. So I have also finished that. Just need to review and create a pull request in merge docs. Here is the Adobe Stock Integration configuration screenshot and the fields which describes what it's going to do. That's it.
Very good.
From my side.
Nice.
Thanks.
Super cool.
Yeah,
Thanks
that's
for
great.
that work.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Just
Thanks.
have a comment regarding the configuration section. If you could take a look on the latest version, there is some update for the layout of fields. Just some comments are reordered by the request of our designers. So I think the screenshot should be updated. Otherwise, like labels are changed a bit. So otherwise, like the configuration is still the same. And
Okay.
yeah, one more thing I would like to ask you, if you could request me and Phil as a reviewer when you open in a pull request to any other repository, to Magento 2 repository, for example, or to DevDocs repository, because sometimes we can just miss that. To be sure for us to review it and give the best recommendations on the podcast. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. I will make sure of that. Thanks.
Thanks, Shankar. That's great. Okay. Any other brave volunteers to demo some cool stuff?
Maybe I can start. Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay, nice. But my presentation will be a little bit unusual. Just we are also talking about some successfully merged or pull requests in progress, but today I want to represent the one which was closed. It was open and closed, but this pull request is really interesting, and it's in touch with them. From my point of view, with a very interesting issue, and if anyone from our community and today's meeting will try to solve it, it will be great. What's the problem? So the issue was created yesterday, 4 days ago, and it's described like when you save licensed image or even a preview image and then delete it, when you open the grid after pressing the delete button, you will see the locate, but not the save preview or license on save and license button text. So I thought that this problem as a result of some backend stuff I made during my Adobe Media Gallery implementation, but no, it's just interesting behavior. And I created a pull request for it, where I implemented some backend stuff with which we can get image asset data on request, but you can read our conversation with Sergey and just try to understand what's going on and what solution we need. Shortly speaking, we need to modify somehow the way we communicate with the masonry grid and our asset collection when we press something on a media gallery navigation or delete image or maybe move it to another folder or I don't know what else, but we need somehow to tell our Adobe Stock Integration that the data was changed. And yep, maybe that's all. So if you want, you can just take this issue and proceed.
Yeah, thanks for sharing this, Alex. I think if somebody
Yes,
would
it's
like
very interesting.
to start working on this issue, it would be good to contact me or Alex, because we had a long conversation today about the implementation, and we have some ideas on how we should approach that. So probably we can help to start, at least to start to provide some high-level approach for the implementation.
Yeah, it's not a simple thing, but and it also connected with some maybe mostly UI components area than backend.
So just to confirm, was the initial issue closed and then we open another one?
I think no.
No, it's not the issue that was closed, it's the pull request that was closed. The pull request was resolving the delete issue in not the optimal way, like having the request for updating the information when we are opening a preview. So considering the volume of browsing images that we can have, that's probably not the best solution from performance and loading point of view. So while discussion, we identified that probably the best solution would be to update the information when the slide panel is opened. So once you open an Adobe Stock Integration slide panel, it's loaded, but if you close and reopen it, it's not reloaded, it's not updated. So once you switch back to Media Gallery and delete some images from Media Gallery, you will not have the updated information on Adobe Stock Integration slide panel. So the idea is to simply reload the panel. But there is also a first entrance point. Like right now, we are preparing the information when the Media Gallery is opened. So once you open the Media Gallery, in background, Adobe Stock Integration is loading the data and preparing the tab to open. That's why it's opening so fast. So considering that at this point, user might also perform some work in Media Gallery that will possibly affect images in Adobe Stock Integration. Right now, the only such case we are thinking about is deleting images. We'll need to refresh the information on during when the tab is opened. And here, like on first initial opening, not to perform double requests, like 2 requests to backend. I think it's better to initially load the information when Adobe Stock Integration panel is opened, not when Media Gallery panel is open. So do it a bit later. Yeah, but I think the fix, the approach with just refreshing information when the panel is open will resolve the issue. However, it's not so it will resolve the issue, but a bit more optimal solution is also to handle that first initial opening of the panel. So apart from refreshing the information in the grid in data provider, we also need to refresh the information in image preview panel. And like in conversation with Alex, we thought that Alex is a very good specialist of backend development. So there are much more, like there are a lot of backend tasks that Alex can work on. So if there are any front-end developers here, or if you know any good front-end developers that would like to work with JavaScript, that would be a good task for them.
Okay.
Sweet. Okay, where are we at here? Anything else? Demo? Going once? Twice? Did Vladimir Fischenko?
Yeah.
No?
Hi.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
would you be able to demo your recent pull request that got merged to the project? Or just talk about it? Show it to us.
Yeah, there's probably nothing to demo, but I can talk about it.
That'd be great.
So, yeah. So I was, after my recent PHP stan improvement, I decided to check all of other code styles, and I think I ran the test and it was fine. And then I decided to check how Magento checker works. So there's a live code test PHP file which has a few checks, and one of them is checking for trig types. And it turns out that it checks only changed files, but it never changed the files you already have in the project and which are not changed. So I decided to check if we have this issue, and I found a few files and then decided that it's time to write some checker so we will never see it there again. So it was not easy first time, but then I simplified the test a bit. So basically it checks all of the PHP files in the repository and search for strict types none inside. And if you have any file which doesn't have it, you will get a failed Travis CI check. So after I checked that it works, I just fixed everything which it found and made another comment. So I think there should be 2 comments, not 1. It's fine. Yeah, and that's kind of everything. So if somebody else will comment the file which doesn't have strict types, it will fail immediately. So our code reviewers will not have to check it manually. That's kind of everything. Yeah, maybe I will check something else this week and maybe find some other idea what to check and what to automate, because this is kind of the thing which I like to do anyway.
Great.
Yeah, but project code quality is good already, so it's kind of hard, when you have something easy to find is one thing. Okay, let's see after. Thank you. That's everything.
Thank you. Okay, I think that may be it for demos this week, unless I missed someone. If I missed you, speak now.
Oh, well, one last thing. I couldn't avoid notice that when Shankar was demoing his pull request, he was also looking at on a screen that shows the let me see, the hack of Oktoberfest, and I know that that's been going somewhere. I just wanted to see if we have any plan to add those tags, to our issues in order to get some points for the people that is competing to get those T-shirts. I think would be nice.
Tags, eh? I'm the new guy, so maybe I don't know how it's been done in the past, and maybe I've changed how things. But we've compiled the list of winners already, and it wasn't based on tagged pull requests. It was more based on opened pull requests. So
Really? Oh, well, that's good then.
yeah, actually, I can show you.
I remember last year was based on issues with the tag Hack Oktoberfest. Maybe they changed the rule this
Okay.
year. I didn't participate this year at all.
No, were you in the? I thought I saw you in the list. You didn't get mentioned here?
Really?
Maybe not. Sorry to get your hopes up. Nope, you didn't make it.
I did participate last year, but not this year.
Okay.
That's why.
Well, in any case, I think we got about almost 40 people in Magento land who qualified, according to our number crunching, and we're up to about 10 or 12 people in Adobe land. So the gist of Squashtoberfest is if you issued 5 pull requests to either repos in the Magento GitHub organization or repos in the Adobe GitHub organization, you would presumably come up in our GitHub search for who opened 5 pull requests in either organization. So we've done that search and compiled the winners. And so if you got mentioned on this issue under this repo, Adobe Squashtoberfest, then you will be getting a t-shirt from us. But you need to email me your details. So I think some of you, I recognize some of the names from this call, this community meeting. Some of you definitely made the cut. So thank you for your contributions and hope you enjoy the t-shirt. I'm still waiting for a few details from a few people, but we'll be putting in the orders for shirts shortly, and then as soon as they arrive, we'll be shipping them out. So looking forward to seeing pictures of you all in your snazzy shirts on social media. Lots of selfies, hopefully, in the future.
Oh, yes.
Anyway. That's a little Squashtoberfest tangent.
Just a small off-top question. If we started talking about Squashtoberfest, I'm just curious, what is the most popular repository in Adobe organization for the contributors? Probably you might know it based on the data.
Yeah, I reviewed the data yesterday. I can't tell you definitively, but I can give you a sense. I had some really high quality pull requests issued to the CLA bot, the GitHub app that checks whether you signed Adobe CLA. There's some really good pull requests that came in from that. But in terms of most popular, I think the Java testing framework, Adobe Ride, it's called, got many documentation improvements, test runner improvements all over the map. So that was a really popular one. That would be my answer.
Okay, that's cool. That's interesting. That's really interesting how Adobe and Magento open source are merging together right now.
Yeah, slowly, very, very slowly but surely. And on the Adobe side, we have lots to learn from how Magento does things in the open. I think the size of the winner lists kinds of shows you the volume and the ease of contributing on each side, right? So yeah, we're getting together and working more closely together, but I think also Adobe has still a ways to go to learn and get to that level that Magento's at, hopefully one day. Okay.
From the Magento side, we also have many things to learn about Adobe and all the tools available, the resources and all the things. As you said, slowly but surely, little by little.
Yeah, slowly but surely. Yeah, for sure. You know, I've worked at Adobe for many years, and coming now, just in the last few months, to work on the Magento side more, it's truly incredible how the community operates. I mean, I think this meeting is a testament to how closely the business and the community work together. I've never seen anything like this. And it's a real treat to be involved in that and to experience it firsthand. And so when I mean that Adobe has a lot to learn, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about is, I think it's easy to entice people to contribute with a t-shirt, but to get the community involved to the degree where there's consistent and recurring involvement on a weekly basis, that's very rare, and it's really impressive. So that's what I would like to see on the Adobe side. And the Adobe repos are very all over the map, whereas Magento, for obvious reasons, is much more focused. There's one product and the ecosystem around it, whereas the Adobe open source repos, you have 8 different languages supported, from native mobile applications to web to you name it. So it's all over the place. And so I think it's also harder to find and get a cohesive community built around it. But anyways, I digress. I could talk about open source stuff on Adobe side all day. Let's get back to Adobe Stock Integration project, which is why we're all here. So I think we're done with demos. I don't think we have mock-ups to talk about grooming the 2 new user stories that landed in the issues list this week or late last week. So unfortunately, I don't think we'll be able to get to those unless I'm mistaken. If so, correct me, please. So
I think it will be good. At least if Elena would like to quickly go through the stories without the mockups, just to prepare us, and then we can return to them, back to them, to review the mockups next week.
I heard my name.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just like half listening and heard my name. Can you say it once again?
Olena.
Okay. Anything else important I need to know?
That's just a check. Oh no. Yeah, I was saying that it would be good if you would like to show us the stories that you added to the project recently. While there are no mockups, but maybe we can get some short description just for us to be ready what we can expect to see with mockups on the further meetings.
Yeah, I can do it. Will you be able to share?
Yep, I've got them up, I think.
Yeah, I recently updated the wiki page with the phase 3, I guess. So we can start from there.
Wiki page, okay.
It just gives the overview. Yeah, so go to the roadmap link.
Roadmap.
It's like link. Link that is called link. Yeah, scroll down. Okay, so this is phase 3. We kind of looked through some of that stories, I believe. And we have some of the mockups. I don't remember specifically which stories we kind of looked into details already and which we didn't. So if you give me like some hint on that, so what should I start with? And alternatively, I can like start with the entire purpose of the phase 3 and what is in the scope of phase 3.
I think we touched first 3 stories already, but that was a few meetings ago. So I think you can just introduce the phase 3 and refresh us a bit, and then describe the recent latest stories. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So the main business objective for the phase 3 is to display the image status in terms of whether the image is licensed or not, and provide the ability to license the preview images directly from the media gallery for the users, so they don't need to search for the same stock ID that they saved the preview of and license that preview directly from the media gallery. So this is like their overarching goal of the phase 3 of Adobe Stock Integration. So with that, we are updating their entire interface of the media gallery and adding the ability to display some of the basic attributes of the images right in the image grid. So it's not necessary to go into the details of the image to see that, let's say, this is the stock image and it's licensed or it's not licensed. So this is something that user will be able to see right from the image grid in the media gallery. When also we add the ability to kind of open the image details and see more information about the image. Like, for example, when the image was added to the media gallery, when it was modified last time, what is the source of that image, like is it manually uploaded or it was downloaded from stock. The keywords associated with that images, where that image was used on the storefront. Let's say, okay, this image is used on some number of products, some number of pages, and some number of blogs. So this is something that we can display when user views the image, detailed image information in the media gallery. So with that, we also add the ability to filter images by their keywords to kind of provide the better navigation through their images that are in the media gallery. So when user like selects the keyword, we refresh the grid and display all of the images that have the same keyword. And in addition to that, there will be some option to filter the images by the date when they are added to the media gallery and the date when they have been modified. So this is like the very brief overview of what is in the scope of phase 3.
Sounds really interesting. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you, Elena.
Yeah, so Eugene promised that by their next meeting, which I don't know, are we going to have a meeting next Tuesday or we skip the Thanksgiving week?
Well, I don't. So we don't celebrate Thanksgiving in Ireland, I think. So I will be able to make this meeting. If you would like to skip it because of Thanksgiving, we can postpone it until the Tuesday in the next week, after the next.
Yeah, I mean, most of us are going to be gone for entire week. So, but anyway,
next week?
Yes,
Next week?
is
Yeah.
next week is Thanksgiving week. So yeah, in US it's kind of May holiday used to be in Ukraine, just like officially 2 days, but in fact it's like entire week.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but anyway, Eugene promised to have the mock-ups ready, and I will complete the stories. So you will be able to go through them like without me. I don't know if Eugene is going to be available, but I guess so. So you will be able to go through that, and like if you have some outstanding questions, we can have a follow-up. I think it would be like more efficient than you just skip the entire week.
Yeah, I think I will be able to do it. Phil, do you have the week off as well next week?
No, Canada Thanksgiving's in October, so I already have it.
Okay. Good, so we will be able to go through that.
Awesome. Yeah, that would be great.
I think we could just go through stories if the mockups will be added and they will be completed, and take notes of the questions and have them ready for the meeting when you'll be back.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
And hope you guys will have a very nice Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, we will. We promise.
Okay, thank you for that, Elena. Well, open call. Any discussion points to bring up? Mike. Right. Silence means no. So we will give everyone 10 minutes back. Thank you for those in Europe for staying up late. And we'll see some of you next week. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Have a great week, guys. Bye.
See you
Bye.
next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.